Kevin McKnight, one of the guidance counselors and the guidance coordinator here. Through the years over at Brick Township High School, no booze, please. We did this for about 14 years with the Alumni Networking Day, and we expanded it to where we had the juniors and senior class come down and hear from the alumni speakers. And through that time, it was an excellent presentation by them, and the contacts that were made by the students with our students that were in the Brick Township High School and with the alumni was outstanding, and they built a lot of relationships through the years. So they did this here in the past at Brick Memorial, but I wanted to expand it, so I appreciate the alumni for coming back, the staff members for supporting this, and the administration for supporting this. Most of all, though, the alumni for taking the time to come back deserve a round of applause. So thank you very much. The administration has been wonderful to me in my transition back here to Brick Memorial. I basically started my career in 1990-91 as the athletic trainer. And then Ms. Penrod came in 98 and replaced me, and I went into the education realm of special education and then into guidance. And I've been at Brick Township High School since 2004, but I am excited to be back here. It is a wonderful, wonderful school, and there is such pride and tradition here, and the contacts that you will make in the future. I still am in contact with many, many students from the early 90s. Ms. Tarnowski, I know, kind of was right around when I was here, and we still keep in contact. Some of them are orthopedic surgeons, some of them are working on Wall Street. So the relationships that you build here in high school are important, and keep those contacts because you never know when you're going to use them. Most of all, though, I'd like to thank the guidance staff here for allowing me to come back here to Brick Memorial and dealing with my stubbornness, dealing with all my, I only send out a couple emails here and there. So, supporting me in the transition back. The administrative assistants have been wonderful. They even helped set this program up for you guys here, so I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to now introduce Dr. Caldez for a few words.
Good morning, everybody. This is very nice. Mr. McKnight, I was very jealous when he was over at Brick High School because he was a trader. He was a Mustang, green and gold. Then he went over to the other side of town, and he's found his way back to the better side of town. And we're very fortunate that he can, I said one of the things he did great over at Brick High School was this program where he brought back our alumni. Okay, because one thing you will remember, one of our famous, remember Mr. Bruno, it is always a great day to be a Mustang. And I want to thank you guys for coming back. You have your green and gold. You will never lose that. That's one thing you guys don't realize. Even when you graduate, you will always still be a Mustang. And one day I hope that you too will be sitting up here talking to students and answering questions and telling about your experiences and everything. It's kind of amazing. I look at some of the faces up here, and I'm like, in uniform now, I'm like, I won't tell them about what kind of student you were when you were in high school here. No, you were a good kid, okay? But I'm just saying, it's amazing to see how these guys have grown in such a short time. When you leave here, it changes quick. You're in a different world, and these guys will tell you all about how college is just a change of life for you, and it is important, and you got to take it serious, and it's a big step. Those who do not take it serious will not be returning after their first semester, maybe their first year. College is not to go to and just have a good time and party. Academics are important, because the one thing, and tell me if you disagree or not, you pay your money up front, whether you go or not. That's your problem. They got your money. They could care less. Because guess what? If you drop out, there's somebody waiting to take your spot at mid-semester or next year. It's a business for colleges, okay? Unfortunately, there are, in our country, the percent, is too high, in my opinion, of kids who don't last. But I understand the reasons why. And one of the things that you must understand, it is attitude. You're going to college with a purpose, and your purpose is not to see how many beers you can drink every night. It is to go there and to perform academically. You can have a social life, but you got to understand your priority is school and getting the best grades you can. And these guys are going to be moving up You might be doing internships or whatever. You're going to be competing against your classmates, other students from other colleges, and you got to have an attractive resume. Okay? That's what it's all about. You guys, they're into it. They're in the transition to adult, real world, having a job, 40 hours a week, health benefits, all the things that your mom and dad take care of you, they're going to be on your plate one day. Okay? And how you take college, how serious you take it, will determine where you're going to end up one day. Okay? We're the foundation. You're going to be going up to that next level, the first floor, and then the second floor is the outside real world. Okay? It's not that far away. It really isn't. How many of you are seniors in here? Guys, guess what? The year is 3/4, we're almost there. 3/4 of this year, more to go, and you're done. Mr. McKnight, how much longer before all college applications should be in?
You don't want to know my opinion?
Your opinion.
2 months ago.
No. Okay.
Try to get them in, by December if you can. If not, watch those deadline dates. Make sure you definitely have everything in 2 weeks before.
As I used to say, the hay's in the barn pretty soon. Okay, and then you're sitting back and waiting. So this year goes very quick for you as seniors. So anyway, thank you for coming down. I think today will be a great benefit. Today is the start of something that we look to even get bigger and better as we move on. Mr. McKnight, I want to thank you for all your time. This man truly cares about all of you and preparing you for college. You get all of his emails, all of his, all times of night. When he thinks of something, he gets out of bed and he sends it out, even if it's at 2:30 in the morning. Okay, I've learned to turn my cell phone silent so I don't get that little ding waking me up. My wife's like, who is texting or sending emails at this time of night? And I'm like, you don't want to know. Okay, you know that State Farm commercial where the guy's like, who are you talking to? It's my agent. That's my agent. All right, but thank you, Mr. McKnight. Thank you guys, all of you, for coming back. All right, and everybody have a nice, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Mr. McKnight.
All right, so now we're going to get the program started. Now, those of you that signed up are going to stay here. Those of you that did not sign up are going to stay here for the duration. If you do have a very, very important class at that 10:15 class, what we'll do is we'll try to take a quick break. But again, out of respect for the alumni, and when I did it over at Brick, we don't want to be like walking out as they are talking about their topic. So I would love to stay here till the end. If you do have a class, just do it quietly at that. When the bell rings, we'll try to take a little bit of break. The food and the coffee and things like that were for the alumni. Some of the students grabbed some, so we do have to finish that up. So if you want some, you can still have some. The alumni that are here are going to be talking about topics that they sent to me, and then also they are going to be talking kind of off the cuff. I allow anything and everything. What I will say is one partying thing if we get there, and one roommate thing if we get there. Hopefully we don't, but we know sometimes those are the issues that do come up. But they have free reign to talk about whatever. They're going to take about between 2 and 3 minutes to introduce themselves, and then they're going to come up here and talk about their topic that they want to talk about. And then at the very end, we will have question and answer, and then you'll also have time to mingle. The other thing we're going to do is we have 27 alumni that are staff members here, and the alumni that are here, we're going to try to do a photo of them in the gym and post that on the website. So without further ado, who would like to go first? Anybody? And we know that was going to happen, right? So the first person, and since he has leadership skills, is going to be one of our students from the past. I put it out to the class of 2017, and some of these students got roped into doing this that are older students by certain staff members, Mr. Mosley. And so we're going to have the student from the Citadel come on up and speak.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is James Davidson. I'm a senior at the Citadel, class of 18. Any seniors? No? All right, yeah, okay. It's the morning. It's okay. I understand. I haven't had my coffee either. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about, since I go to a military college, is kind of stuff that would maybe relate more broadly to all of you. So I just came up with 3 words of advice that maybe I wish I knew before I went to college. The first thing is don't defeat yourself. 90% of the kids that I knew that failed, that quit early on, got it in their mind early on that they weren't going to make it, that college wasn't for them, or that, it just wasn't for them, and they got it in the mind that they were going to fail. So my recommendation to you is that don't think about failure. Just think about success and what you need to do to succeed. The second thing is be motivated. When I was at a military school, there were plenty of days where it was hard and that I didn't think I was going to make it, and that I was going meal to meal, just trying to get through. So it's a big deal. Stay motivated. Even when it seems bad, I guarantee you that things will get better as time goes on, and that you'll get to a better place. You'll get to where you want to go if you just stay motivated and you just keep your eye on the goal. The third thing is, hold up. Shoot. Third thing is don't quit. Just don't quit. Just stay with. I forgot what the third thing is. That's okay. College, scatterbrain, it's all right. But I wish the best of luck to you. Are there any of you guys thinking about going into the military at all when you get out of here? So we got one, Naval Academy. No hands. One, two. All right, well, if you're thinking about going to the military, going to a military college, it's a great institution. I highly recommend it. And thank you, guys.
Your choice.
It's my choice.
No, you should go with that one.
Anybody? No? Naval Academy? Was? Huh? So pick you up.
Hey guys, my name is Chloe Vonderlunded. I graduated last year. I go to the Naval Academy Preparatory School. So I graduate in May, and then in June I report to the Naval Academy for I-Day, and I'll be a plebe. Enjoy your time here now because college is hard. High school is not that bad. So yeah, enjoy it now. As he said before, there's not many people in here who want to join the military, but it's definitely worth it. I'll get more in depth later when we talk about our colleges, but yeah, that's it right now.
Oh no. Hello, my name is Emily, and I go by Emmy, so there's that. I graduated last year in 2017, and I attend OCC, which is fun, by my house. And I go there to study psychology, and I guess we're just introducing ourselves right now, not talking about schools yet, but I don't know. I'm kind of awkward, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, all I can say is enjoy high school because it does go by really, really fast. I felt like I graduated in the blink of an eye. I don't know. It went by really, really fast, and just enjoy it. I apologize for my awkwardness. This was really random that I got picked, but thanks.
Now you have your choice. You'll be back up. I want you to talk a little bit about it.
Yes, yeah.
What's going on, guys? I'm John Covert. I graduated last year. I go to Stevens Institute of Technology up in Hoboken. Major in mechanical engineering. So I guess the one thing I want to say is just get involved in college. There's so much stuff happening. The school you're going to, there's going to be a whole bunch of kids like you also going to that school. So all the clubs there, anything you want to do, they're going to have it. So take advantage of it while you can and just do as many clubs as you is humanly possible. It's take advantage of everything. All right, that's
I guess so. Hello, my name is Tommy. I graduated last year.
I go to Muhlenberg College. I'm a theater and dance double major. And what I wanted to say was just to persevere through the application process because it's so exhausting and it's so rough. And for like my theater people who have to do like the self-tapes and the auditions and everyone writing all these essays and filling out all these things, and it's just a lot to do. Just persevere through it and like really get it done as soon as you can, because then you could just take a big nap.
Hi everyone, my name is Gianna Uchiogrosso. Thanks. I'm an econ major and I go to Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken. My piece of advice would probably be to branch out, like going off what John said, and get involved. I actually have a paid internship right now because I just took a chance on a random email, and they hired me, so it's pretty great. Thank you. You're gonna take it? Okay.
Nice.
Hey everyone, I'm Joe Manzo. I'm a freshman at Salisbury University. I graduated last year. So my one thing I want to say is my schedule's a little bit different than everybody else, is because I play a sport. So my piece of advice is your schedule your first year is going to be a lot different than what you're used to, and it's going to be difficult at first. So what I did is I just broke my day down. It's all right, I got to get through this first, and then this second, and then this third. And if you break it down into small pieces and just focus on what you're doing at the moment, it gets a little bit easier and you'll get through your day a little bit faster. That's it for now. And I know Rob wants to come up next, so I'm going to give the mic to him. You're lucky you're my twin. You're lucky I'm here. Yo.
Yeah, my name is Rob Manzo, as he said. I'm his twin, so I'm here. I graduated last year. I go to Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey. And I guess the biggest thing is just when you get to college, time management. Because a lot of time to procrastinate, a lot more than you have here. So just get your work done.
That's good. Oh, I'm up, okay. Guess I'm up. What's up, guys? My name's Mac Wasfaro. Is this good? I'm currently a sophomore at the College of New Jersey. I'm a 5-year special ed major. And are we doing advice now or no? No? Yeah. Just, all right. So my one piece of advice is don't be afraid to switch your major. I switched it 3 times already, which sounds like a lot. But just find what you like doing. I came in as a crim major, found out don't want to be a cop. Cops are not cool at the moment, so I had to switch it over. So I didn't do that for a little bit. Then I went to secondary ed. Then I realized teaching high school is not what I want I want to do. So I switched it again to special ed. So just don't be afraid to switch it. Happens a lot, and just whatever, just find what you like doing, and that's about it. So just gonna pass it off now, I guess. Thanks, man. That way. Oh my God.
Come on, Jackie. Is it about your night, Sonny?
Okay, I'm Jackie. I graduated in 2017, and I attend the University of Maryland in College Park. My biggest piece of advice is to not be afraid to just branch out there, because going to somewhere, especially if none of your friends go and you're just so used to seeing the same faces every day, it's just the best experience ever. And at first, it's definitely very overwhelming, especially if you're looking into a big state school. But you're gonna give yourself time to adjust and just make sure that you're doing everything that you can to be involved and branch out and meet people. And it's gonna be great. It's definitely different than high school, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah.
All right. Hi, I'm Isabel Ferry. I'm going to Pace University in New York City campus. I'm currently double majoring in biochemistry and business. My one piece of advice is standardized tests don't end, especially if you want to go to medical school or graduate school. So yeah, just informing y'all that that it doesn't end here. That's it.
Hi, I'm Jess Glass. How are you guys? Okay, I go to Kutztown University in Pennsylvania, and I'm also on the track team. I want everyone to turn to their partner next to them and shake their hand. Okay, this is an example of what you need to be able to do once you get into college. When you get into college, you basically change into a different person. You need to be able to be comfortable with yourself and make eye contact and basically college forces you to step out of your comfort zone, which is good because you need to grow up and do that. I also advise you guys when you transition into school, like for example, like my first day of college, like I literally just sat in the cafeteria with my mom and my sister. I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I don't know anyone. Like, what the heck? Like, I'm not doing this. And then basically it like forces you to like you're like, okay, like I'm okay. Like if I want to do something, like I'm gonna go do it. Like if you want to get food, go get food. But like you need to be able to have your time like planned out in a good way to be able to help you, because that's what the goal of going to school is, to get a degree and to do the best you can with that. So that's my advice.
Hi guys, I'm Farah. I graduated last year. I'm a freshman at Rutgers. Kind of like what Jess said, just try to make new friends. It's really easy. Everyone's in the exact same position as you are. Don't be afraid to just like, if you're in line, someone's behind you, just be like, hey, who are you? Like, what's your name? Like, I'm telling you, it's how easy it is. Like, it's not that hard. But also take EP classes. Please take EP classes. You will not regret it. It is so hard. Like Gen Bio in school, they definitely weeded me out. I'm done. I'm not bio anymore. I'm poli sci now. I switched my major. I just one lecture. I was like, I'm done. That was it. But if you want to do it, try. Don't be like me and just be like, okay, this is it. Like I'm not doing this anymore. It was just like it was too hard. I was like, this maybe isn't for me. But just like take classes that you don't think you'd be interested in either. Like take like a dance class. Like we have like dance classes at Rutgers. They count as credits. They count as like core requirements. And you never know, you might end up like really, really liking it. You might actually want to like pursue something in that kind of like career. You never know like what you want to do. So yeah, just try everything.
Hi, I'm Adia Williams. I'm a freshman at Fairleigh Dickinson University at the Florham campus. My major is sociology, and if I could give one piece of advice, it'd be don't get scared if you don't adjust right away. Personally, it took me a while. I'm just now like getting used to everything and like going out of my comfort zone to meet new people, and at first I was not able to do that at all, and it can be nerve-wracking, and you kind of just want to be like, yeah, I can't do this. But it's definitely worth it. It will take a while for some people, and then other people, they adjust right away. So yeah, just don't freak yourself out if it takes a little longer than everyone else. Thank you.
Thanks. Hello, my name is Josh Peace. I am a senior at George Washington University, so I've been here in a long time. But it's cool to be back and see lots of faces that I remember. I'm studying business, journalism, and communications at school. And since transitioning into college was such a long time ago for me, I didn't want to focus necessarily on that kind of stuff that you're going to deal with immediately right when you jump into school. I think a lot of the guys up here are going to know that stuff. You know, it was more immediate for them. So what I'm going to talk about when I do get the chance to talk about is internships and finding that job and how to make yourself marketable and professional, because that's going to come up faster than you think, and if you get an early jump on it, I mean, it's really going to give you a lot a lot of advantages over your peers. So that's something I'll talk about. But just to really quick cover kind of the jumping right into school thing that's coming up for you guys in the next few months. It's been said, but it's true. When I started at George Washington, a week into school, I shattered my left knee. I tore my patella tendon off, all kinds of nasty stuff. Couldn't walk for like 3 months. That was how college started for me. And I wanted to drop out. I wanted to come home. I said, I can't feed myself. I can't get to class. I can't dress myself. And that's kind of extreme, but stuff happens. Jimmy was going to cover his third. He remembered when he sat down, he said, it's be flexible. So I'll steal it from him. Be flexible, because it's true. I mean, as life is, things are going to happen to you that you didn't expect. College is hard enough on its own, in a good way, but things will be difficult. Just be prepared and hang in there. I went and saw my counselor, and she said, don't drop out. She said, just stick it out, and thank God she did. Would have changed my life. But on a less depressing note, because I think we've really been hitting all you guys with college is hard, things are going to be difficult. It's also really fun. It's exciting, too. It is this next level in the game that you've been playing since you've been born of, I'm setting up the rest of my life. It is that well, it's not the last level, but it's that final level. You finally get to go to college, and everything you did in high school and all that kind of stuff, it comes to a head, and it's exciting, and you get to make it what it is. And that's a lot of fun, and I'm happy for you guys, and I'll talk to you again in a bit about some stuff you can do for jobs and internships and things. So thanks. Anybody?
Thank you very much, Josh, and I think he's going to get hired at his very first job, no question about it. So basically, we kind of introduced everybody, and now we're going to get into some topics, and it's going to be free reign for whoever wants to come up and talk about the topics. One or two of you can come up, just grab the mic, and or pass it on down. So the first thing I want to say is, how many people want to play Division I, Division II, or Division III sports in college? Raise your hand. All right, so 99% of the students when they leave high school do not play a college sport. So what I'd like is any of the panel that, I know some of you mentioned that you're in sports, the time demands was briefly touched on, but I want you to explain how much is involved with sports, so whoever would like to take that first.
Want to go first? All right. So I play Division III football at Salisbury, and I just want you guys to know, if any of you guys are thinking about playing Division III, just because it's not Division I or II, doesn't mean it's a joke at all. Because my schedule is probably just as hard as, not just as hard, it's a little bit easier, but it's not easy to any extent. Because basically my normal Monday, I'll run you through my normal Monday. I wake up at 5:30, go lift at 6, eat breakfast, go to class at 8. Then I get a break for an hour. Then I go to class at 10. And then after class, I eat lunch. I go to film before practice. I have practice for 2 hours. Then I go to film after practice, and then an individual meeting with my coach every single Monday for the first 12 weeks I was in school. So I didn't have time to, as normal students did, I didn't have time to take a break, take a nap, do my homework during the day. So I was always up late night doing homework. And besides the time taking, it takes physical toll on your body. So whenever you get a rest, that you need to find time to give your body rest. Because if you don't, you're not going to perform in school, and ultimately that's the reason you're there. You need to it forces you to manage your time, because there's things you have to get done. And it's very strenuous. It's also fun, I'm not going to lie. I love playing football. It's like the greatest thing to me. So if you find something and you actually love it and you want to keep doing it, go ahead. It won't be a mistake playing a sport in college. You'll love it. It'll be probably one of the most fun things. You'll meet friends that you'll have for a lifetime. I've met friends. I've been at school for 2.5 months, and I've met friends that will be my best friends for the rest of my life. And it's just because we're together every day. We're going through the same stuff. It's just being on the football team, it gives us a connection. We go through everything together, and it'll keep going like that for the next 4 years, and it's just a whole bunch of fun.
Okay, so I run Division II track. I'm also an elementary education major, and it's hard. It is. No one's going to tell you it's easy. If they do, they're lying, just letting you all know. And also, you have to be able to like understand like school is first. Like it's great like doing a sport and like being involved, but also like your education is more important. And that's what your coaches are going to be telling you. Like you need to be able to be good in school to even be doing the sport as well. Like you need to have like good grades and like do extra for the sport. And also like you just need to, like you find when you're doing a sport and going to school, you don't have as much time to like do nothing and like just like fool around. Like you have to actually like, you have like you have shorter hours, I feel like, in the day than everybody else because you need to get stuff done and you like, that's just how it is. So like it does take up a lot of time, but I mean, the benefits of it is you're with people and if you love the sport, you're doing what you love and everybody's in the same boat. I mean, as the freshmen, like the freshmen that are on the team, they're all in the same boat. They all have like no idea what's going on. Like they're all freaking out about school. So like everybody's in the same thing together. So it's good to have like those group of friends that are on the track team as well. I mean, you can have friends on the track team, which is good, but also friends like not on the track team. So like it's good. And that's just my advice, to just have your time skills, like be good enough to be able to balance both. Because if you can't, then it's hard.
I just have one more thing I want to say. It may feel like at times if you're just, because you're running around all day, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff, you have practice, you have class, you have to do all this stuff. There will be people there to help you along the way. And because you're an athlete, you have extra people. You have all your coaches, you have people advising at the school specifically for athletes, and then you have all your professors and all your regular academic advisors. And they will help you throughout the way. They'll do everything they can to make your transition as smooth as possible, and they want to see you successful. So go and get help if you need it, because you will.
Like really quick, like my first week, like I'm terrible at math and I went to the tutoring center and was like, I really need help with math. And because I'm on the track team, I get an extra like 2 hours just because I'm on the track team. So like it has benefits and they want to help you like succeed in your education as well as athletics.
Thank you very much, both of you. And remember, at that Division III level, there are your best athletes from high school. Would you agree? They are so good at Division III level, so never look down upon that at all, because a lot of Division I and Division II athletes end up at Division III for various reasons. If you are a Division I or Division II athlete, make sure you're registered for the NCAA Eligibility Center at the end of your junior year for any of those juniors. And then obviously if you're seniors, make sure you have that. You want to open up every door. We have a student at OCC. All right, how many students are actually looking to go to Ocean County College to start out with? Just raise your hand. All right, and a lot of that times that can actually change as you hear from your other schools or financial situations change. So I'd like you to talk about your Ocean County College experience, okay?
I'm back. Hello. Okay, hopefully I'm not as awkward this time because I wrote down stuff. Before I start talking about OCC, I want to talk about why I chose psychology. Basically, when I was in middle school and high school, I was bullied, as sad as that sounds, and I got help through bullying through school-based services, and because I attended these school-based services, it inspired me to help others. And honestly, I'm telling you this from someone who was a bullying victim. I want you guys, please, to just respect everyone. Like, treat others the way you want to be treated. I'm not trying to sound corny or annoying, and I know that's such a common thing, but please. And if you are bullied, it does get better, let me tell you. Because ever since I started school, this is where I'm gonna talk about OCC now. So when I went into college, I was very nervous because I was like, oh God, please do not make this like high school, because I didn't want it to be that way. I wanted to start again, I wanted to be new. And OCC is nothing like high school. And if anyone tells you that OCC does not give you the best education, they're completely wrong. I started my OCC career actually here with Miss Whalen. I started psych here because I was like, I want to get a jump start. And actually, that was very smart of me. And at my orientation, my advisor told me that what I did was very, very smart. Because now, in the psych classes I take, I am ahead of a bunch of people in my, I guess, year. I don't want to say grade. But if I can tell one thing about OCC that's super fun, and that I go on a lot of with my friend Joe. Hey, Joe. Everyone say hi to Joe. Me and Joe go on trips. This is one thing about OCC that's so fun. We go on trips. And a couple weeks ago for Halloween, we went to Eastern State Penitentiary. That was pretty cool. If you guys watch BuzzFeed Unsolved, they went there. Love them. And we also went to Philly. And after Thanksgiving, we're actually going to I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the Museum of Natural History, where my all-time favorite movie was shot, Night at the Museum. So there's that. The nice thing about OCC also is classes are catered towards you. And if you want to have a class at night, or if you want to have a class in early morning, it's really all up to you. You can, I take my classes in the afternoon, and it's just easy. I get up at 11, and I'm home by 3. So and I still have time to myself when I get home. And also another nice thing about OCC, I struggled with math really bad. And the nice thing is OCC made classes catered toward people with problems with math that count. So if you're in remedial math, I guess technically that's the term, you still get credit for it, and it doesn't it still counts. A lot of colleges, they'll have remedial math, like where my boyfriend goes to school in Staten Island. He has to keep retaking math over and over because he's just terrible at it. No offense, Anthony. No offense, Anthony, but yeah, I really think that if you want to save money and if you're still trying to figure out what you want to do, then I really encourage OCC because it's just fun and they have great food, to be quite honest. All right, so that's.
Thank you very much, Emily. And OCC is a tremendous option. Remember, as you take your courses at Ocean County College, you have the New Jersey transfer. Any of you that are here, just that need to go to your next period class, just quietly leave. Okay, once I'm done, I'd rather most of you stay, unless you have an AP class or an honors class. I would like most of you to stay. Stay, most of you stay, please. Okay, so we're going to continue, and one of the problems is, with class now, and that was the same thing at OCC. Those of you that are going to stay are going to get good information, and again, out of respect for the members up here on the panel. Okay, what I'd like, Josh, I'd like you to come up and talk about internships and the experience with that. Those of you that want to move up, because you guys are the ones that care.
All right, what's up? So like I said earlier, I'm going to try and cover some of the stuff that you're going to bump into once you're in school, and as your time in college, starts to accelerate rapidly. One thing I will say is you hear it from your parents and people older than you all the time, and it gets to be redundant, but my God, things just get faster and faster. I graduated high school yesterday. I'm about to graduate college. Oh, what's up? I do. Just to give you a background of some of the stuff that I have done, I've worked for the House of Representatives doing video for them. I worked for Broadway doing video for them. I worked for an advertising agency in Georgetown. I worked for an ad agency in McPherson, one in Alexandria. I worked for a sales company back here in the States, a PR company out in New York. And they all bounce from one to the next. They all kind of bump into each other, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. What's up?
Like the people that you meet while you're doing those job things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they help you still or no?
They do. So that's actually kind of a good question. I've been doing similar talks to this back at school at George Washington with some of the freshmen and sophomores because there's this big culture, especially at GW, where we just feel like if you're not interning during the year, like, oh, you're messing up, you're not doing something right, you'll never get a job. And it really freaks people out when they first start off. So the thing that I've been harping on the most is that you're going to be applying to all kinds of jobs, trying to get internships on the internet and through job applications, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to feel like you're just throwing stuff out into a black hole. And everybody feels that way, so don't let it scare you. The very first job I got when I was a freshman is I had a contact. I dug through everybody that I knew, and I said, maybe somebody's working somewhere that knows someone that I can talk to. And there's nothing wrong with that. People are going to try and make you feel bad, or like, oh, you're working for your dad's company or something like that. This is the way the world works these days. If you don't know somebody, it can be so hard, even if you're wildly qualified, to get a starting position. So the first things first, and the first lesson that I was going to say is use your network. You might feel like you have nobody. I have a small family. They're not out in the industry that I'm working in. And I didn't really think I had something. But one thing leads to the next. If you can talk to the people you've met, the people that you meet now in high school, as they go places, the friends you make in college, and you can get a job through that. But it's really important that you foster those relationships when they start as you go. I've never burnt a bridge. You can't do that. If you get a job somewhere, even if you hate it, it's a bad job, it's not what you want to do, don't burn a bridge. Work your butt off and impress the people there, because they might get you your next job. Or they may know someone where you're going to interview next, and if they give them a call and they say, what did you think of Josh? And they say he was lazy, he didn't like the job, he didn't want to be here. Well, you're out of luck. Every position that I have gotten, other than one where I actually did apply for something online, has been through, I knew someone, I found someone on LinkedIn, I directly reached out to them, et cetera, et cetera. And that's the kind of stuff, I don't know how long we can talk about it, and it is still maybe a year or two ahead for you guys, but it's coming up, and I want to give you some insights on that kind of thing. And first off, it might not seem like you need one, you might already have one, you might not, but LinkedIn is actually such a cool social network. It's a social network that gets you a job at the same time. It is growing, it is getting bigger, it's not going away, and it is absolutely, it's your living resume. I was just having a conversation with someone the other night about resumes and how, you can apply to 60 jobs and send your resume out to all of them and nobody will contact you back. Even if you put even if you're qualified exactly to the position that you're applying for, you'll get nothing back. It blows my mind, and I think it's because in many ways resumes have they've matured past the point of what they were for. It's very difficult for an employer to sort through who actually, is going to be the person they're looking for just through a resume. And they take your resume and they put it through software. It looks over it really quick, and if it doesn't say, exactly what they're looking for because of this formula that you don't know, then you get filtered out. And then after that, if someone does look at it, they read it for 3 seconds. So it's super easy to just vanish and never be found by anyone. Well, LinkedIn is one of our ways around that. I started mine when I was a senior. It was kind of like a joke. I was like, haha, I have a LinkedIn, like who cares, what do I need one for? And then freshman year, I was like, oh, crud, I actually needed one of these. I was in a class and they were like, everyone's gonna be making a LinkedIn today. And I was like, ah, cool, I already got one. And then out of nowhere, it became wildly important. I found out that there's all these kinds of tricks and tools that you can use through LinkedIn. I'll just give you a story for how I got one job. I worked for this place called Blue Text. It's an ad agency. What's up?
What's the thing called again?
LinkedIn? Oh, okay. LinkedIn it's another social network. It's probably closest to Facebook in like the way that it looks and the way that you can post and you have a profile, but it's basically a living resume. You put all your work positions, all the volunteering, all your professional skills, your technical skills, and then you connect other people in similar industries that you might want to work with, and it works. It's networking, but it's online. So I worked for this. That sound has changed since I was here. It's aggressive. So this one company I worked for was called Blue Text. It was an ad agency. Some work I did for them. I did a rebrand video for George Mason's grad school. Bye, Ms. Tarnowski. She's awesome, by the way. The way that I got that job is I finished up another one, and I was another job, just kind of the time period ended. It was for one semester, and I was like, okay, should probably get working on another one. Started sending out apps. And like I've been saying all day now, radio silence. Nobody's getting back to me. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm not hireable. And at this point, it's getting late into the semester. I'm like, everybody who's going to get a job probably already has one. I'm never going to get a job. My semester's almost over. Who wants to hire me for 2 months? So I was like, you know what, let me try something crazy. And I went on the internet and I Googled every single company in the area I might want to work for. Got that list down to like 20. Then I went on LinkedIn and I found the hiring managers and basically the business dev head of every company on LinkedIn. I found their profile. Then I found a plugin for LinkedIn that if you click a button on someone's account, you get their work emails. So I took these people's emails directly. I was tired of sending out apps to go through all these kind of systems. And I said, I'm just going to email these people. I'm going to say, hey, hire me. You're missing out if you don't hire me. Sent out 20 emails. I got one back. You only need to get one back, and that's the thing. When you do these kind of things, you're not looking to make 1,000 friends. You're not trying to get 100 jobs. You're trying to get one job, and then turn that job into the next. I put my resume in. I said, I need work. This is the kind of stuff I can do. Please reach out to me if this is something that you'd want at your company. And it worked. And those are the kind of you have to be creative, because when you're out there, everyone else is trying to do the same thing you're doing. If you're sleeping, somebody else is working. I'm not saying that so that you're all up and on caffeine all day and stressed out and whatnot, but you got to be creative. If something's not working, try something different. So if you can start now, hop on LinkedIn, start building your network. Most of the people who are brand new to it ask me, they go, well, I'm just graduating high school. What do I have to put on LinkedIn? I haven't had a job. I haven't had an internship yet. That doesn't matter. The point of LinkedIn is it's exactly what you put on your resume now. Think of the things that you've done, the jobs you have had. I had someone recently, he was a freshman, he was talking to me, he was like, I've been a lifeguard. That's the only thing I've done. I said, well, what do you do as a lifeguard? You got a certification, you're trained to save people's lives, you've worked with a team, I know you've done training because he trained other people there. That's stuff you put on a LinkedIn. And they're actual tangible qualities that you're going to be able to turn into experience and impress people with, and you're going to have to talk about. So don't be scared. Don't feel like you have nothing to add to LinkedIn. Hop on it, start your account, and start connecting to your friends. Because the way that LinkedIn works is you can only connect to people if you know someone that knows them, or if they send you like an email message and ask to request. So by connecting your friends now, as they go out and make connections, you're broadening your network, and it's going to become super, super valuable. But to not to harp on LinkedIn, to move on, as some other points. These are the things to keep in mind when you are in the workforce, when you are interning, that I'll just cover real quick so that we can pass it off to other people. You bump into a lot of issues around being the new guy, I think, when you start interning in working places. What's my role as somebody at a company who's kind of learning, but also is trying to impress them and trying to get another job and might be leaving soon? And it can be very intimidating because you're a freshman or you're a sophomore and I'm at a company, I don't know what they do, I don't know anything about this industry yet. First off, that's going to change. Most of the stuff that you do at jobs, you get taught. A lot of the stuff you learn at school is making you smarter, and it's making you rounded and giving you background information, but it doesn't teach you how to do the job. That, in most cases, you learn at work. So the first piece of advice is don't be scared of a job application. Don't be scared of a company or a role. If you get an opportunity or you think you might be able to do something, do it. There's no reason to be scared. They want to teach you. They just like to find people who have good attitudes and want to work. And that's you guys if you're reaching out to them. Never sell yourself short. There's been a lot of times where I've seen a job application and said, no, I don't think I exactly qualify for this. I don't know how to do.
Please excuse this interruption. There's a car, Honda Civic, parked in the staff parking lot with their lights on. The license plate is K61G.
Oh, yeah. Rough. Don't be scared of applying to a job. You can do it, and you'll learn those skills, and you have skills that'll match. Oh my God! It's a symphony of sounds in here. How do you get any work done with that? And I guess just like a final point. We don't harp on this all day, and I'm totally willing to answer any questions that you guys might want. How you can get a job somewhere, some tricks you can do to reach out to people, ways that you can develop, ways you can build your network, leverage getting a salary, all that kind of stuff. Anything you want to know, I'll talk about it. But this is something, when you get that first job, this is something that took me the longest to learn. That's why I want to give it back out now. If you If you expertly avoid stepping on people's toes your entire time interning and working these entry-level jobs, that means you never tried taking any big steps. It's super corny, but it's also really serious. You know, you're gonna wanna tuck your head and just get the work done that they give you and not cause any problems and not make any mistakes. That's a waste. It's a waste of your time and a waste of opportunity. If you think that there's something new that you can do or something you can learn, or you look around the office and you say, well, that's not my job, but I bet I could help with that. If you keep your ears open and you're ambitious and you think that you could be the boss where you are, that's what's gonna take you somewhere. It's gonna impress the company you're at. It's gonna add extra experience to whatever you might have been doing at that company. Don't be scared of the people right above you or the people above them and offending them because you're changing the status quo. You're very smart, and the people that have been at companies have been there for a while. You're new ideas. You're fresh blood at these companies. Just own that spot, and when you get there, be bold. Try new things. Come up with your own ways of doing things and put them out there. Sometimes they might fail. Sometimes it might have been a bad idea. But if you don't try any of them and you worry about offending people or looking like you're a know-it-all or something like that, then you'll go unnoticed. Nobody's going to represent you unless you represent yourself. So get out there, hop on LinkedIn. Don't just apply to apps on the internet. Reach out to people, send people emails, talk to people, ask, say, hey, I'm good at this. Is there a spot at your company you might think I can work? And enjoy the game. It is honestly, it's just like the game of life. You know, you're scheming. You're out there scheming, and it's fun to be a hustler and get new positions and learn new things. And it's going to pay off in 4 years, and those 4 years are going to go like that. So if you have any questions, I'm going to pass it off now, but I'd be happy to talk more about that. Thanks.
Thank you again, Josh. And I do appreciate those of you that stayed. I thought that was kind of rude of the other students. So I do appreciate you guys staying, and you can get a lot out of it as we move along. Anybody interested in going to Rutgers? Raise your hand. A few of you is into Rutgers. So I want a couple of the students that are at Rutgers and maybe the University of Maryland to talk about the bigger school experience. So whoever would like to come up from those schools.
Hello. Do I just like talk, or you guys have questions? Any questions, please? Go. Okay, hi. Okay, so.
Do you want me to start? Yeah, I'll start.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, if you're interested in going to a big school or a state school, it's definitely very overwhelming, especially coming from Brick Memorial, because like, okay, for me, I started off at Herbesville Elementary School, like a very, very tiny school, and then worked my way up a little bit, and now I'm at a school with over 30,000 people, and it's crazy. But I would definitely, I ended up there, okay, so when you're applying and it's like, where do I go to college? And there's so many options, and like to narrow it down is the hardest part. I'm a criminology and criminal justice major, and hopefully I'll be tacking on a minor in either Arabic or global terrorism. And so I knew that's what I wanted to do, and it's definitely important to be passionate about what you're doing, or else you're not gonna like it. The IT guy that I work with, I work at an office called, it's a study of terrorism and responses to terrorism. And I'm an office assistant, and I sit in a little cubicle, and the IT guy who sits next to me graduated last year, and he was a nutrition major. And his name's Hyub, he's really funny. And I said, Hyub, you did 5 years of school to be a nutrition major, and like now he fixes computers for us. And he just said he wasn't passionate about it, and he just wanted the degree, and like, it's just so important to know early on, not early on, because you can always change your major, but just to have passion for what you're studying, or else it's just not gonna work out that well. But, and I don't know. Oh, okay, this is another thing I want to talk about. Scholarships. It is so important. I think the guidance office probably saw me like 2-3 times a day. I spent like most of my year in the guidance office, and it's such a good opportunity, especially if you need financial help, to take the time out of your day to do those scholarships, because it pays off for sure, and it's definitely beneficial. And I don't know if anyone is also looking into big schools, but if you have any like specific questions about it, feel free to ask. I think the best part about going to a big school is the diversity, because it's impossible to feel different because everybody's different, and it's just like great. I meet people from China, just all over the world and all over the country, and I love it so much. And I'm sure you have similar things.
I live on campus at Rutgers. I live in the international building, actually. They put me into the international building. I don't know why. But there are like people from everywhere: China, Switzerland, Vietnam. One of our friends, his English name is Josh, but he has like this really confusing name. I don't know how to say it. But he's really nice. He's really sweet, and like sometimes they can be like a little intimidating to like approach, but like don't be scared to say hi to them. Like they're just as scared, or not, if not like even more scared. Like they're coming from a whole different country, like to somewhere they don't even know where. Like their family's back at home. Like they don't know really what they're doing here except for to learn. But yeah, like get out there. Please make friends, because that's like the number one thing you want to do. Like yeah, like your schoolwork, but you also want to make like friends. If you're living on campus, like if like your hall, like always keep your doors open. That's what they told us during like orientation, everything. Like keep your doors open, knock on people's doors, be like, hey, like what's up? Don't be afraid. Academics are really important. Please stay on top of your stuff, because it was 1 week. We call it silly week. It was all syllabus, like that's all I had to follow. The next thing I knew, I was already there for exams. Like midterms are already here, and I did not know what to do. It was terrible. But yeah, and take your AP classes, guys. I know it might seem really hard right now. They're like, oh, I don't want to take that, but it's going to come in really handy. Like you can have like 4 AP credits from high school, and you'll already be like ahead of most of your friends that are in college. You'll already be set for a semester. So God forbid, like you fall behind, you're fine. I'm not saying you should, but you'll be okay. And go out and have fun. I don't know if we were allowed to talk about parties, but like you're gonna want to experience it. It's
fraternity, like not parties, right?
okay. Yes, sororities and fraternities. They're fun. Like you can go out there, like see like everything. I personally did not want to join a sorority, but you can if you want to for girls sororities, guys fraternities. But again, just like stay safe. Guys and girls, just like stay with another person. Don't ever leave your friends, please, because especially at like a big school like hers or like mine, stuff does get crazy. So that's like the number one thing that like at least it scares me. Like you're out until like what, like 2, 3 in the morning. Like you don't want to be out by yourself. It's really scary, especially at such a big school.
Yeah, and like a lot of these big schools, like I know Rutgers is in New Brunswick, and College Park as well. Like the areas just aren't safe, like in general. But I feel like that's a lot of college towns. But like, don't let that intimidate you so much to a point where like you don't branch out, because it's like okay, and everyone's going through like similar processes. And also what she was saying about silly week turning into exams like that, there's gonna be weeks where you're like, I cannot do this, I need to go home, I need my bed, I need my mom. Like it's like it goes away. Like it gets so much better, and you're gonna have your good weeks where it's like, okay, I can lay in bed and like watch an episode on Netflix or something, and then there's gonna be weeks where you're up till 4 in the morning writing a paper on something that you just have to write about because it's what's assigned to you, and I don't know, it's unfortunate, but like it's college and it's gonna pay off in the end. And definitely, like I said before, be passionate about what you're studying and what you're doing.
But yeah, and for your first year, you're just gonna be doing like basic stuff, like just like your freshman year. If freshmen are here right now, they're just doing like bio, just like all that stuff, like math. Like you still are, but like, you have a question? Huh? Oh, okay. But yeah, like your freshman year, you're just doing like your prerequisites for like everything. You're trying to finish like your core. We call it our core like courses. But I know if like you're really interested in what your major is, like you will get to it eventually. It just like it gets a little annoying that you have to keep taking like all these math courses, all these like science courses, all these requisites like you don't even need, or you know you won't need it in the future. But you just kind of have to get through it. I know it's gonna be really hard because you don't want to do it, especially if you have the freedom and you're living on campus. You're gonna be so tempted to not do your work, because I do the same thing and I procrastinate more than I ever have here in college. It's bad. Don't do it. Just stay on top of your stuff, guys. Just do well in school. I'm sorry?
I know for my school, okay, so at Maryland, what we have is what's called discussions and then lectures. So since the lectures are like 200 to 250 people, there's not a lot of room to ask questions. So then what I have is like, for my math class, say, I'll have 2 days a week that's lecture, and then I'll have a discussion that narrows down to about 15 to 20 people, and it's so helpful. And there's always like places to go no matter what. Like in my basement, they do, of my dorm, they do tutoring, like from certain times of the day that you can just walk in no matter what it is, because a lot of the upperclassmen do it for certain reasons, like whether it's an internship for them or it counts as some credit, or just people are really helpful. I would definitely say I get the help that I need.
Like she said, it is we have our lecture halls, like in Rutgers, like 300 to maybe 500 students. They're really big, so like if you want to ask a question, depending on who your professor is, they will or they won't let you ask the question, but mine does, so like that's kind of helpful. But again, like in lectures, you won't really get the help you need. But like we have recitation, so it's like 2 days a week we have lectures, and then one day we have like this. We have a call in like a TA, and they help you with everything, and you take quizzes there. But also, I don't know if like depending on what school you go to, I'm sure they give like your advisors and your tutoring. You get that for free, or you pay for it actually. But take advantage of it because you are paying for it. So they do help you. You just have to take advantage of it. Like we have ours posted everywhere. There's like little like slips you can like rip off the paper, and like you call them and like you tell them like, okay, I want to do these hours. Like I need help with this subject, and they will do it. Like they will help you. You just need to like find time in your day and not tell yourself, oh, like I don't want to do that. Like I don't feel like, or I'm tired. Like you just have to get over that, and you have to really like, you have to help yourself, because you won't feel like you need it now, but you will when exams come around. You'll need the help.
Yeah. I would say take advantage of the Writing Center. The Writing Center is like my safe haven. They literally help me with so much, and just take advantage of the stuff that you're paying for, because it will benefit you.
And office hours for your professors, they do those like, they'll email you like, oh, office hours like changed or something. Make sure you go to those too, because your professor teaches different material than other professors do, so like you want to get their help. Like you can still get a tutor's help, but you want your professor most of all. Like if they give office hours, take advantage of those, because you'll need it.
I'm good.
Thank you so much. That was excellent information. And just be aware with the parties, you know, and when you're out, make sure that you are always watching your drink. I think everybody would be in agreement with that, okay? And again, make sure you have somebody with you. Whether it be a small school or a large school, make sure you search out that help. Some of you, when you're looking at your schools, and you might have it narrowed down, make sure you go see the schools, though, please. A couple of you are at smaller schools, smaller enrollment. So those of you that are at smaller enrollment schools, I'd like you to come up and talk about maybe why you chose the smaller enrollment school and your experience there.
So just talk about your experience, I guess. Hey guys. So like I said, I go to the Citadel Military College of South Carolina. We enroll about 2,500 cadets, something like that, and then another 500 civilian day students. And so what really attracted me to a smaller school like that was that my classes are probably about the same size as your classes here. 36 would be a big class. I would say it ranges from like 25 to 30. Other than that, I mean, it's really kind of a homey feel to it. You know, like I know most of the people in my class. It's not like if you go to Rutgers and there's like 1,000 people in your class and you just don't know anybody. So yeah, I think it was really great that I could get to know my classmates, and I know who goes to my school, and I can recognize people. Yeah, that's really what drew me to that school. So.
Okay, so I go to school, there's about 200 of us, and in that 200, there's only 50 girls. So my schedule's very different from everybody who's been up here so far. So I'm in uniform every single day. This one's my dress uniform, but normally I'm wearing my cami uniform, so that's like the camo uniforms that you see around town. So I wake up at 5 o'clock, I go to class, I fall out of my room at 6 o'clock. So I'm in uniform, and then I go to breakfast. We march there, we march everywhere. Go to breakfast, then we have morning formation with the entire battalion outside. And then after formation, we all go to class. So I go to 3 classes. I have physics, chemistry, and then English. And then after English, I go to my lunch period. So I go to lunch, and then I come back, and then I go to calculus. After calculus, I have 2 hours of mandatory study. So in that 2 hours, it's called extra instruction. So I go back to my school, I go back to my building where we take our classes, and I go get extra help from my instructors. And that's very helpful. After the extra instruction period is our sports period. So I'm required to go work out for 2 hours. And then after that, in that sports period, I go to the gym, but twice a week I go to jiu-jitsu. So I'm on the jiu-jitsu team, which I never thought I would have done back in high school. But after sports period, I go back. I have an hour of cleaning, mandatory cleaning, because we have inspections like every day. Then after that, it's another 2 hours of mandatory study. And then after study period, we have to go to bed. And the reason why I applied to the Naval Academy is because I really like the strict structure of the academy. I like being told what to do, when to be there, and I like to procrastinate a lot. So going to a military academy, I have no time to do that. I'm always doing something, I'm always very busy, and it's just like a whole nother thrill that you don't get to experience at other places. My class is very small, so there's 200 of us. My biggest class maybe has 15 people in it, and it's very intimate. You get very close to the professors, and so next year when I'll graduate in May, and then I report to the Naval Academy. And I'll be at the Naval Academy for 4 years, and the huge perk about going to a military academy, I don't know if anybody's interested, but I get paid to go to school. So normally you pay to go to school. I get a paycheck every 2 weeks to go to school. And with that, I get to buy stuff, buy some nice things. And then when I graduate, I have a guaranteed job. I'm going to be in 01 in the Navy or the Marine Corps, and I'll serve for 5 years to pay back that scholarship. So I go to school with a $500,000 scholarship, which is really nice. So if any of you guys have considered going in the military, it really changes you for the better. And the application is very tough, so if you're going to start one, start it now because they're all due January 1st. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help you guys. And that's about it. Thank you.
All right, so I go to Stevens Institute of Technology up in Hoboken. It's a pretty small school. Like my class, I think we have like the biggest class, or one of the biggest classes they've ever had, and it's only like 800 kids. So like one of the things that a lot of people think about small schools that I kind of want to talk about is like a lot of people don't want to go to small schools because they think just because they're a small school that they don't have the same resources as a big school, but that's not the case at all. Like I know at least at my school, like they have the same tutoring center, same like writing center. They have all the labs and all the professors, and they have like everything that a big school has. It's just smaller, but they have all the resources that all the big schools have, and so it's just that I know a lot of people get discouraged from applying to small schools for that reason. But if you like the little like the community feel to it and the smaller aspect and how you get to know everybody, I really recommend a small school. Just don't get discouraged from what I said already. Yeah.
So my class, like John said, is about 800 kids, and that's the biggest class they've ever had. So that kind of puts in perspective when you think about, compared to Rutgers and stuff. For me, like when I visited FDU, I was like, yes, I want to go here. So it was pretty easy for me, but I really like, my campus is so like beautiful. Like that's one of my favorite things about it. And because it's small, it doesn't feel crowded. And I feel like everyone can kind of enjoy the space. And like someone else said, it just has that like tight-knit feel. Like I've gotten to the point where I can say hi to most people, and I like that. And I think if I picked a bigger school, I would have been kind of overwhelmed. But some people like that. But I like the small feel and the intimate community. And yeah.
Hey, I go to Muhlenberg College in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So Muhlenberg is extremely small, and it's awesome to have like such like a tight-knit community, because I'm a theater and dance major, so it's a very like small department. And since the department is small and the school is small, the department seems really big in comparison to the school. So like most of the people at my school are like theater people, which is nice. So being at a small school is really nice because it's a great feeling to like walk around and see all these people that you like actually know, and you feel way less alone, and you feel like you can go up to anyone and be like, hey, I'm gonna sit with you now, is that cool? And they'll be like, yeah, you're cool, come here. And yeah, class sizes, my biggest class is about 26 maybe, and my smallest is about like 10. So it's really cool, and it's very focused and very individualized. And the reason I chose a small school was for that reason, because I auditioned for a bunch of like big schools like in New York and a bunch of different cities, and like it was so like not like dehumanizing, but like it didn't feel nice. And when I went to Muhlenberg for my audition, it was just me sitting with the head of the department talking about my resume, and then I just like auditioned for him, and it was nice, and he seemed to like really care about me and what I wanted to accomplish as an artist. So then when I came to the school, it was like the exact same thing, and they just care about you and where you want to go as a person and as an artist and as just like a human being. And it's really nice for people to actually care about you, and you're not just a number at their school, you're a person that they want to succeed in the real world.
All right, so I'm a sophomore at TC&J, and it is a smaller school. I would say it's on the bigger end. We have 9,000 total students, so it's a little bit bigger than Muhlenberg. But it still is a small school, so I guess I'll talk about Greek life. No one's going to touch on that. So Greek life is more than just roofing drinks, so we don't do that. That's not a thing. And biggest piece of advice my brother gave me when rushing is you can't spell college without 2 L's. So when you're rushing and going through a whole process, it's going to be a lot. It's very time consuming. I was up every day till like 2 a.m. just doing stupid stuff, but it really is kind of the best decision I've ever made. It's really corny. Everyone says that. Like every sorority sister is like, oh, I love my sisters, but it really is true. Like I really do. I love my brothers. They're kind of like my best friends. Like I met my best friend actually at an open. He was puking in the bathroom, and I kind of just helped him out, and now we're roommates, and we love it. So my main reason why I rushed out is Josh left, but getting a job is not who you, it's not like how qualified you are. It's who you know. And being in a fraternity or Greek life in general really is just about networking. Sigma Alpha Epsilon is kind of the largest fraternity in the nation. So it really helped me out. I actually landed switching my major through SA because my department director was a brother. So he really didn't even interview me as like, oh, you're a brother, you're kind of in. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so definitely if you're thinking about rushing out, I would advise to do it because it really is kind of cool. And it's cliche again, but I met my best friend through there. It's just, you have so many, I don't want to say brothers because they're not my actual brothers, but they're all my best friends. So like you just really meet like a lot of cool people through there. You really have people that like go the extra mile to do anything for you. Like I remember one time I was stranded in Philly at 4 a.m. after a Kendrick Lamar concert. My phone was dead, and just out of nowhere, my brother just popped in through Center City, gave me a ride home. That was really cool. So definitely rush out if you're thinking about it. And really with a smaller school too, there's like talking about the party aspects. There's really not that much parties to go to. So like if you're in Greek life or any organization or sports team, that just gives you like no one really wants to sit home in your dorm playing Xbox like FIFA on a Friday night. It's really not that much fun. So going to a party is kind of fun. So definitely do that. Do you want to speak at all, Rob? Or are you just gonna sit down? Rowan's a small school, bro. Oh, my bad. All right. So I'm gonna hand the mic off, I guess.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. So when everyone is looking at schools, again, whether you're a junior or a senior, especially you seniors, as you are narrowing down your school and trying to choose it between the large school and the small school, again, keep those things in mind. Now, some of you might stay local where you might commute, say like a Monmouth, Georgian Court, Ocean County College, Brookdale. Some of you might live on campus. always the case is the roommate situation. So anyone, and we'll keep it to 1 or 2 people to talk about choosing your roommate or getting a roommate and you're not getting along.
You can start.
All right, word. So my freshman year, I had a roommate named Tom. On paper, he was the coolest guy. We were really into soccer. Like, on paper, like, he was just like, if he was a Yelp review, he'd be a 5. This kid was like, on paper, like, I loved him. So like going into the college, I didn't know he had Tourette's, and so like he would make noises every night. I would want to go to sleep till like 5 a.m. He would just like Tourette out in the dorm. So like nothing against Tourette's. Like, don't, if you have it, like, respect for you, you're going through it. But that was definitely kind of like a detrimental thing to me because I just didn't get sleep at all, and he didn't say on the housing form he had it. So we kind of like, I didn't hate him because of Tourette's, but I kind of resented him that he didn't tell me about it. But funny story, going to a small school, he actually lives across the hall from me now, and we're actually really good friends. And then I switched my roommates because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, getting sleep's cool, and I kind of valued that a lot. So I switched roommates, and then my second roommate, his name's Aiden. He kind of a weirdo, so he always brought his high school girlfriend over all the time, and like, it's kind of weird. So like, it is really important to get along with your roommates. Like, you don't have to be friends with them, just be civil. Because like, I learned through like my roommate Aiden, I really wasn't civil, and it was kind of a bad time. Because you just come in, like, I'd say hi and just stare at me. Like, it was really weird. We didn't get any conversations going. So right now, my roommate's name's Ron. He's from Staten Island. I don't know if anyone's been there. It's kind of a magical place. They have weird accents. But I love him now. Like, I'm roommates with my 3 best friends. And honestly, if you can become best friends with your roommate, definitely advise it. Also branch out, meet new people. But like, once you get your roommate, just be civil with them. Because like, my worst experience was second semester with my roommate hating me. It was really weird. Couldn't get anything done. You good, Jayla? Oh, shit. Oh, relax. Those are your laughs. But definitely with roommates, just get along with them, because like, if you have a bad roommate, it's going to be a really weird time in college. So if anyone wants to talk about more roommates.
Okay, go ahead.
So I have a triple, and I mean, it's nice. It's like a big room, but we all live together in one single room, so it's kind of like tough at times. So things started out really nice, and then slowly things start to like, you just get so mad. And like, I have like a really early schedule, so I have to like get up at like 7:30 in the morning. I know that's probably not early for a lot of people, but like, it's early for me. So I have to get up really early, and my roommate doesn't have classes until like 10, so he sleeps like all day. And I have to get up, so I'm like opening drawers really quietly and like tiptoeing to like get things to get ready to go. And it just kept escalating to a point where he just got out of his bed and started screaming at me. And I'm like, listen, I'm trying to get ready for school and to like actually like do things. So like, I mean, it's something you have to talk about with the person you're gonna live with before you move in with them, like scheduling stuff. Because at first we were like, yeah, we're cool with anything. Like, it's chill, it's fine. But then like, when things start to get like real, you just get like really mad. And also, you need to talk with your roommate too, because like, if you just don't talk to them, things just start heating up and the tension's just weird. So that's me.
Okay, mine's kind of similar. I met my roommate through Facebook. So in the beginning, like, when you're going on Facebook and you're reading everyone's like, I don't know, like, their like their little information things, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this girl seems awesome, like, it's gonna be great. Like, we started talking, we like figured out we were like had similar situations, we were so much alike. She's a biochem major, and I'm criminology and criminal justice, so I'm like, okay, like, we can't really help each other out, but she just seemed like such a cool person. And she is a very cool person, but it's definitely so important in the beginning before things just escalate, because like, they just build up so fast and you get so angry, to just set ground rules and like make schedules of like who has to clean and when, and like whose side of the room, because when you're living in like one little box with another person, it could be awful. It could be a really bad experience sometimes. But like, other days, we have our good days, and we have our bad days, but it's definitely so important to set ground rules in the beginning before things start to go down. But yeah.
Thank you, and it is crucial. And one thing I think most people would agree: do not have a roommate that you went to high school with. You think it's going to be good, and it probably will not end up in a good situation when you were friends in high school. And the other thing I would recommend is make sure that, again, along with visiting the schools, they also offer the opportunity to stay overnight. So you want to see the dorm rooms. There's been numerous colleges that I've been to that the college is great, but the dorm rooms suck. So what I'd like to do is have, oh, Josh, you're back. Okay. So anybody that would have any topic that they would like, because we have probably about 25 minutes left, you guys can come up to talk about the transition. A lot of you had transition when you emailed me back. The transition on going to college and the amount of work. I know you kind of expressed concern with that at the beginning. The amount of work compared to high school. Anybody who would like to come up on that?
No. All right, so I'm just going to start off with, you're going to be doing a lot more work outside the classroom than inside the classroom. Like, so much more work. One of my classes, my stat class, is my professor requires us to have done 2 hours of work prior to every class. And that's not even a lot. Like, if you're doing 2 hours of work, you're barely getting anything done. So you're doing a lot more stuff outside the classroom, and it's all on you. You have to take responsibility for all the stuff. You have to set your schedule. You have to make sure you get things done. Because if you don't, it's not like high school where it's like, oh, you have a homework assignment, you have to hand it in, and then you get a grade on it. If you don't do stuff in college, nobody's going to notice, because your only grades are like big tests, papers, maybe you have quizzes sometimes, but like you're just going to fall behind, and it'll hurt you in the long run if you don't do your work. And it's easy for you to fall behind because no one's watching you. No one's like telling you, okay, you have to do this, okay, you have to do that. It's all on you, and it's just a lot of time that you're, at first, it's gonna hit you like all at once. You're gonna be like, oh my God, I have so much stuff to do, not enough time. When do I eat? When do I sleep? What am I doing with my life? And then you'll just have to break everything down and get everything done, and it gets easier. You just have to manage your time and go through it and get another person. As much as you can, have a friend to study with, go places with other people, because it'll help motivate you, and you can motivate each other and be like, all right, I'm going to take a break from my work to help you study, and then we could switch, and then it's a lot easier if you have a friend with you at all times.
Important because I have a class right now, it's called Info Systems, and we're starting like a startup company online. And that group that I'm with, I carry with me through all the rest of my classes because we have the same classes.
Calendars and just put it on your desk. When you get your syllabus, look at all the dates on it and write down on each month and each day when something's due. And it basically shows you like how much time you have to do something and like what you need to get done. Also, what's different from high school that is in college is high school you're used to like getting an assignment and like handing it in like either the day after or like next week. And in college you're given a lot of assignments and you're like, oh, like this is due like so soon, like I have so much going on, like I need to get it done. But in like reality, like you have like a month to do it, and like you get so much like at one time. And that's when I got very overwhelmed, because I was like, how am I supposed to get all of this done? Like I have so much, but then you actually look at the due dates and it's like you have time to do them. Like the teachers don't want to see you fail. Like they want you guys to actually like do well. So like you just need to be able to like just relax, because you will get overwhelmed. Well, I did. So if you get overwhelmed, like just know like to have a calendar and be very organized, and that will help you like not be so stressed out.
Okay, so if I could give any advice to you guys, it would be develop strong study habits now, because you're gonna need them next year. And high school came really easy to me. I didn't study for any of my classes really, but once I started school here at NAPS, like it was a big wake-up call, because like Jess said, you get hit with this thing called a syllabus, and you look at it and there's dates for everything that's due, and you're like, oh no, I have like 3 assignments to do this day, I have a test the next day, and I have 3 quizzes that day too. So you gotta learn to manage your time and teach yourself how to study. Open those textbooks that like you really don't want to open, but like learn how to read them because it's going to help you. Because in college, the professors, they just go up to the board and they write all over the board, or they just stand there and they talk. And you have to learn how to take notes. And it's not going to be like high school where they print out their notes for you. It's going to be, they're going to lecture, and you have to learn how to take your own notes and get information from that so you could pass the test or pass the quiz and go from there. So when you get to college, have strong study skills going in so that you're ready for all the demands of college.
Another thing is like how like you're taught here is definitely different on how you're taught in college. Like when you spend like, I think I told like a class I was in, Petrocoro's class, I was talking to them about how in a lecture hall, you learn like a section or like a chapter that day in like 120 minutes. That's how long my class is, and you learn that for like a day, and the rest is like you have to learn the rest like on your own. And here you spend like a section during like throughout the week, every single day. So it's like it's really different, and it's gonna be really hard, because if you don't like get used to it now, you'll have like a panic attack, like you'll be like, oh my god, like what am I doing? So like Chloe said, you have to develop strong study habits now, because if you don't, you're gonna get a little worried. It's not that bad. Like I know like we're making it seem out to be like terrible, but like you just need to like get the hang of it. Like it's gonna be a little scary at first. Like you're gonna feel like you're all over the place, but like you'll get the hang of it soon. Just like make sure that you do, like you know what you're doing. You have your like time management is key. That's all you need to do is time management. If you have that down, you're gonna be fine. And another thing I wanted to talk about is how depending on what school you go to, I'm sure all schools have them, but like opportunities they give, like Rutgers gives so many opportunities, like whether it's like guest speakers or whether it's like just like info, like events to help you out. Like we had Joe Biden come into Rutgers and he was speaking, and he came down and he took my phone and took a picture, and I met him. Like it was amazing. It was the most like amazing experience I've ever had. And they had Obama speaking at their graduation like 2 years ago, I think. But yeah, like opportunities are also a really nice thing. Opportunities like, again, tutors, you have to use that, like utilize everything. If they tell you to use something, just take it, because in the end you're paying for it. Everything you're paying for, so take advantage of it all.
So what I was going to say was kind of similar to what Jess was saying about how like the type of assignments that you get. It's like you will have the occasional thing where it's like you have it and it's due like the next class, but the majority of work that you have is like big projects. Like whether it's something that takes like a week, or it's you come in your first week and it's like, okay, here's your project, have it done by the end of the semester. Like it's a lot of stuff like that, but the projects are big. Like you need to work on them. Like I was a big procrastinator in high school. I procrastinated a lot, especially with projects even too. You can't do that with projects really in college. They're just too much work to procrastinate with like the big assignments that take like a whole semester to do. So just kind of get used to getting a good work schedule down with the big projects, because there's no checks to see how far you've gotten or to see how much you've done. It's all on you. So like get a good schedule down for like the big projects to like keep yourself in check.
Thanks, appreciate it. We've definitely covered how much you get and that it's way more than high school, and that's true. It is very true. You've never experienced a midterm and a final until you have experienced the college midterm and final. It is something very rare that it's not like jobs, it's not like high school, but you get used to them, and in many ways it's a cool thing that you do at college, because it's really difficult. And when you get done, you're like, dang, I just did that. You feel like you accomplished something. But what I want to say is I want to say a few things, but I don't want to give any broad sweeping like ways that you're going to succeed, because we're all different. And to be honest with you, to this day, I struggle with time management and jumping on projects or some studying early. And to be honest with you, it's because sometimes I just don't have time. It's going to happen. You're going to have a midterm and start studying for it at 10 o'clock at night before it. It is going to happen. And so, you know, I don't want to scare anybody and just harp on how much work you have, and I don't want to say like, You know, if you're not 5 days ahead of every assignment, you know, you're not doing college right and you're going to fail, because it's not true. It's really the opposite, I'd say. I'd say you're going to be swamped a lot and you're going to feel like, wow, this is impossible. But everyone is different. And as long as you have the attitude where you just, I want to do well in this, you know, I want to do well in my midterm. I want to get this essay done and do a good job on it. If you keep that throughout your classes, then you'll figure it out. It's going to be a weird, ugly path of all-nighters and things like that, but if you care about it, you'll do it, and you'll be impressed with yourself after you have. But as far as this is something I definitely wanted to harp on. Burnout is very real in college. You're gonna feel like you got to do a million things, because there are a million things that are available to you. You know, you can have a work study, you can have an internship, you can be in 6 classes, you can be in 2 clubs, et cetera, et cetera. You have a social life. You know, you live on your own, so you buy your own groceries, you do your own laundry. Suddenly, you have all of life plus a million other things, and burnout is real. And it didn't start for me until probably early junior year, because I went abroad sophomore year. Probably would have started then. But when I came back, I started to, the semester would start, and I'd go, oh, you know, I got a lot of free time. There's not a lot on my plate. Let me pick up another thing. Let me pick up another thing. Let me pick up another one. And I felt like it was fine. And then suddenly, I couldn't sleep, and I didn't know what I was eating, and my laundry was stacked up to the roof, and I didn't have any time to do anything about it. And you will burn out. Even more so than that, you don't do your best quality work when you overcommit yourself. So something I'd be aware of is have that ambition, pick up all the extra stuff that you can, do the things you care about, but be careful. You can do too much. Many of the times I failed the most in college and let my peers down or let a boss down is because I didn't have time. And I didn't get something done, or I half-did something, or something of that nature. So be very honest and aware with yourself of what you can do and what you can't do, and you shape your own schedule. Nobody makes it for you. So if you got to pull out of something, or if you can put another thing on your plate, go for it. I am the worst procrastinator I know. I have the worst attention problems, so I like to stack up a very full schedule because it keeps me going, because I don't have time to really waste, and maybe that's your path. Or maybe you're very good at time management and you'll be able to chunk things out, and it's different for everybody. Yeah, I wanted to say be careful of burnout, because it might happen, and it's okay to pull back from things when you have to. Other than that, I know there was another point I wanted to cover, but it's slipping my mind right now. But yeah, thanks for your time. If you have any questions again.
I just wanted to make another point. Here in high school, we have Parent Portal, and teachers do a pretty good job with keeping that updated. But I found that in college, they don't do that. I have only, 2 out of my 5 professors are the only ones who keep things updated on our portal. So I think what's important to say is that you have to go to your teacher and ask how you're doing, and because they won't come to you, they won't let you know if you're doing badly. You can't go onto the portal and always see your grades for everything. And I didn't know that right away, so I was waiting to see my grades pop up online, and they just weren't there. So eventually I had to go to the professor and talk to them one-on-one, and sometimes that's the only way you can find out how you're doing. And you want to do that before, if you think you're not doing too good, you want to go right away until it gets too late where you can't bring your grade back up. So that was a really big transition for me. And yeah.
Thank you. Now, we're giving you all the information about college, but I'd like to maybe kind of end, and then we'll open it up to some questions, how fun college is. All right, so who would like to come up and talk about how fun college is, because that is going to be part of the experience.
I'm back again. Hello. I really, really want to talk about OCC's trips. I just want to talk about the one I just went on, because you want to make the best of your college experience. So I really encourage, if you do go to OCC, take the trips, join the clubs. It makes the experience fun. But I did go to Eastern State Penitentiary on October 28th with my friend Joe. Again, hi Joe. My friend Kyle, we went with Kyle, and I brought my friend from Monmouth, his name is Joseph, and we brought this crazy girl who just decided to tag along. I didn't really want her to, but she just joined anyway, but she came, and it was fun. We went on a tour of Eastern State, and then we got free time to walk around and got to explore. And then we went to Philly from probably 12 to about 7 at night, and they let you just go. They just drop you off and you just go wherever you want. So we went to Betsy Ross's house. That was pretty cool. We spent $3 to get into a cemetery. Why was it that expensive? I don't know. And then we went to this food market. It was like a mall, but with all food, and that was pretty fun. And the cool thing about OCC is you can bring friends from other places. So if you have a brother or a sister that you want to join with you, you can. It's just a little bit extra money, but nothing crazy. But if you do go to OCC, I encourage taking trips because that's what makes school fun. So thanks.
All right, so one of the biggest things that at least I think is fun in school is you're on your own. You get to do kind of whatever you want, whenever you want it. This just they already talked about parties and stuff like that, so I'm not really going to touch on that. But there have been times where I don't recommend doing this, but I've been hanging out with friends at 2 in the morning, and we were just, let's walk to the pier. So we took a walk. You can kind of just do whatever you're feeling you want to do. So you can kind of just have as much fun as you want. And there's a lot of opportunities schools provide to you to have fun too. The school that I go to is right by the city. So they have a thing where they have a lot of events they cater to the students where they'll give you tickets to stuff at super cheap. I didn't go to it personally, but I know a friend who's actually a year older than me who last year said she got a ticket to Wicked, the Broadway show she said she paid $20 for it. She said on the ticket it said $185. So they give you good deals. They a lot of places give you good deals as a college student also. But yeah, you can just kind of do whatever you want, which is why I think it's fun at least.
I go to school in Manhattan, so the city is obviously alive at all hours. You can go get pizza. You can go. There's actually bookstores if you're into reading books that are open in all hours of the night. And like you mentioned, discounted tickets. I personally saw Dear Evan Hansen at no cost to me. I also saw Anastasia for about $20. There's a lot of clubs, but that's really irrelevant. Well, most people aren't 21, and if you get a fake ID and they catch you with it at my school, they'll revoke your housing, so you don't really want to challenge that. But I live towards the bottom of Manhattan, so it's by Wall Street, which closes down, but there's the Seaport, so people like to go walk by the water or all of the parks that are open until 2 a.m. And then there's a lot of just clubs and stuff that, there's a video game club that has, where you can go play Xbox, PlayStation, all that stuff on Saturdays, because a lot of people commute or go home, so they give you that outlet, that social outlet. Oh, that's about it.
Thank you. Hey. So the Citadel doesn't exactly have the name for being the most fun school around. So I'm going to tell you about one of the most fun things that I've done, and that's study abroad. They say the best way to go to the Citadel is to go somewhere other than the Citadel. So I went to France last summer, and it absolutely blew me away. It was the most fun time I've ever had in my life. I got to immerse myself in an entirely different culture. I got to meet people that I never would have gotten to meet otherwise. that including, my French host family, but also people going to college in other places in the United States that were studying abroad with us. So if you ever get the chance to study abroad, I would definitely recommend it. I'm going back to Italy for spring break. I'm doing another study abroad trip. Just can't get enough of it. And yeah, it's probably one of the most fun opportunities. I've never heard any professor, teacher, anyone that's ever studied abroad that said that they had a particularly bad time. Everybody that I talked to recommended it, definitely. So if you get a chance, highly recommend to study abroad. Yeah.
Okay, so I have two things. So the perk about going to a service academy is that there's so much competition between, say, Army and Navy. So my voice is really scratchy because we just had our little Army-Navy game, and if you thought brick versus brick was crazy, Army versus Navy is like on a whole nother level. It's insane. It's so much fun. Also, you get to study abroad to other service academies. So you're going to be in your school's uniform, but you're going to be at West Point or Air Force Academy or the Coast Guard Academy, which is really cool, and you get to see the other side and see how the other military branches operate. And then another huge perk about going to a service academy is that every summer you get 2 months off. So during those 2 months, you could go home for a month, or you could go travel the world. And the Navy or the Army or whatever branch you choose is going to pay for you to go travel the world, and they split up your summer into different blocks. So 1 week you're going to be at the Marines, the next week you're going to be flying a plane in Pensacola, Florida, the next week you may be in Italy, or you'll be on a cruiser or something around the world. And it's just really cool because you leave, like, it may suck while you're there, like with the hard schedule, but when you leave, it's going to be so worth it, and you're going to love where you came from.
Okay, so I'm trying to put myself in your guys' shoes and think of like how I felt like when I was a senior and like this was all happening and I was like freaking out. So basically, I feel like it's like a fear of the unknown. Like, do you guys agree with that? Like, raise your hand if you do. Like, you literally have no idea what's going on. You're like, I'm freaking out. Okay, that was me. So, but like, you have to look. I feel like the mindset of this like is so important. Like, if you look at yourself, you're like, you're used to doing like the same thing in high school, and then you go to college and you're like, I'm going somewhere completely new, like completely different. Like, it's all like individual like growth, I feel, and college helps that like so much. Like, you just turn into the person that you want to be, and being uncomfortable and being in those uncomfortable places helps you turn into that person. And it's weird that like you're not comfortable, but that helps you grow. And I feel like that is what makes you like a better person and want to do more like with your life. And I feel like that's the fun part of it. I mean, some people are used to doing the same thing, and some people just want to grow individually as a person, and that's what helps you. And also, like, at my college, at Kutztown, like, if you want to join like a club, like, go join a club. If you want to start your own club, as long as you have people that will like want to be in it with you, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, I am in the sign language club at my school, and I'm going to be the president hopefully next year. So basically, like, get yourself out there, and like, even if you don't know anyone, like, just to try and like get yourself out there, like, is good. So just, that's it.
Okay, I'm guessing the last one. Okay, are we ending it right after this? Yeah, all right. So clubs at Rutgers, they have a club for literally everything. They have like a knitting club, they have a Star Wars club. FYI, if anyone here is like a really big like Star Wars fan. I'm in the Arab Cultural Club and the PCRF, the Palestinian Children Relief Fund. They're really good. Like, Rutgers does a really good job of like helping to like support other people that aren't Rutgers students. Like, we do so much to help other people like in other countries, whether it's in this country. But for like the Arab Cultural Club, like I joined it because like my sister's in it and she really likes it, and like it just like, we really like our culture, so like to like us like get along in there and everything. We had a formal. It's really fun. So like, make sure you guys join clubs, get a job. I work at the student center. it's really it's not that bad. Like they work around your schedule, around your courses, everything. But yeah. That's it.
Thank you. I thank the audience for staying around and listening to the panel, but most of all, thank the panel. Any questions that you have for them, just hang out here. Feel free to get their email address, any questions that you might have for them. We're also going to do a picture with them with the former alumni here. Thank you again for coming.